Hello and good evening. I don't know if anybody's there. I don't know if you can hear me. Don't know whether it's even possible to hear me. I look a bit like the orange Trump man. I do look a little bit like I'm lit up, but it's better than the previous lighting. So the lighting is actually a little better in a way. So I won't be moving the lighting for the moment. But is anybody there? Can anybody hear me? 21 seconds in, 21 seconds in. It sounds. Hello to Keely. I'm sorry we're a little late. I do apologize. And cheers to you, Keely. You're an absolute stalwart of this program, and thank you for all your help and assistance helping organize the program. It's very, very kind of you to join in. We've got a good evening from Linz to Min. Yes, Min is here. She's in the background. We've been out for another lunch at the same restaurant we went to yesterday, but we had something completely different to eat. But it was a nice little trip out, and we did a little bit of exercise, which was a good thing. So that was a good thing. Keely says you're very welcome. Well, thank you, Keely. You are a great supporter of this channel, and it's a wonderful thing. And we don't have all the rows that people have on all these other channels because, quite frankly, it's me and my lovely friends. So we don't tend to fall out. There we go. So, Mr. Lee Kicker, good evening. I love you all. Well, that's very kind. We love you too, Mr. Lee Kicker. You always add a bit of joy to our channel. So there we are. Thank you for joining in. And hello to Anne and Robert and Susan and Paula and Cam Elto and SS Racing and Annabella and all the rest of you. I'm sorry, I probably missed out a few of you, but there's now 44 of you here immediately. So you can hear the noisy birds outside. Unfortunately, our nasty neighbor decided to kick our little mini Thatcher into the sea. So the little bird was kicked into the sea. So I had to rescue it. And our kind German neighbor, there is a nice German on the other side of the water who has an English boat that looks a bit like a Reever. He actually helped me. So he helped me get it out. And then it came back. So then it came back, and then we went off for lunch, and we've come back from lunch, and it's gone again. So God knows, God only knows what's happened to the poor little bird, but it's probably dead. But it's not very nice that these Germans want to kill a little bird. It's not very nice. I don't like people wanting to hurt and harm this poor little bird, because seagulls are actually protected species in France, just as they are in England. So it's completely incorrect of the German to kick the bird into the water when it's not. It was not a nice thing to do, and I'm really very angry with her. So I'm very upset about this, and I probably won't sleep tonight because of this, because I'll be worried about it. That's how I feel. I care about this little bird. I've looked after it. It's like it's part of the family now. So, you don't abuse a beautiful creature. And the little bird is a bit of a pain in the ass because it keeps escaping. And I did build it a shelter for the afternoon whilst we went out. And then
Matthew.
Oh. You've made some tiramisu. I'm making a program. Okay, here you are. Come and join the program. Thank you. That's very kind.
You're welcome.
Oh, here we are. That's very kind.
Joy.
Thank you. Here we are. Well, the lovely neighbours have made some tiramisu. So that's very. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. Here we are. So we've got some lovely neighbours who made some tiramisu, and they brought us some for our evening meal. So isn't that nice? Absolutely joyful to have such lovely neighbours as them. But unfortunately, the poor little bird has flown away. So the bird is over, and the bird is gone. So right, okay. Well, there we go. We've got some lovely neighbours. So there you go. So no, they were different neighbours to the ones that the woman that threw the bird into the sea. The ones that threw the bird into the sea were different people. So there we go. Anyway, The lady who threw the bird into the sea is a naturist. She's a little bit odd, let's be honest. She likes taking her clothes off, and quite frankly, it's not a very attractive sight. Having seen it myself, um, you don't do that kind of thing when you're that age. Um, if my father stripped off at 103, it would not be a nice sight. I don't think. I don't think it would be appropriate. Let's be honest. That's the kind of analogy I can make. Okay, so there we are. Anyway, yes, the RSPCA wouldn't be able to do anything in France. Well, no, they wouldn't be able to do anything in France, but there must be an equivalent of the RSPCA. But that we want just to look after the little birdie, and it's our little friend, and we care about it. So we feed it, and it's had the last of its chicken soup because unfortunately the chicken soup has now run out. It'll have to have dog food from tomorrow because that's all it can have. I can't be making it. I'm not going to be making more chicken soup. So there we go. Anyway, we say thank you very much for your support for the lovely little mini Thatcher. It's a lovely little bird, and it needs your help. And we're very upset with the yes. So anyway, the other neighbor has kindly just brought some cakes, which is very nice of her. Isn't that nice? So we say thank you to her. She's just made some tiramisu. So anyway, we say cheers to her and thank you. Right. Okay. So have we any questions on any other topics before we've up to 68 of you whilst we wait for a few more. Ronks says, I feel you might have turned that bird into a cannibal. No. The poor bird is being attacked by all the other birds. It's not being attacked by me. It's not a cannibal. It's just a poor bird that's being bullied. Cheers to the good neighbors. Yes, we say cheers to our wonderful neighbors. Yes, so there we go. I don't think they can hear us, but I've tried to say it loudly. You fed the bird chicken. Well, seagulls eat anything. Of course, they're scavengers. They'll eat anything. They love fish.
They do like chicken.
Of course, they like chicken. I've not turned the bird into anything. It's just a bird that eats. It eats anything you give it. What do I think about what's happening in Los Angeles? I think that Los Angeles is a complete shit show. It's a complete it's a complete disgrace. It's going completely mad. I cannot understand how Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom don't have this under control. Obviously I know Gavin a lot better than I know Trump. I don't know Trump. I've never met Trump in my life. I have met, obviously Ivana and Ivanka and all the rest of them, but I've never ever met Donald Trump. But I will say Gavin Newsom is a very much switched on political operator, and he is someone who is aspiring to be president of America in the future. And of course, California is a bigger economy than Britain. California as a state is bigger than Britain. It's a huge state. It's a huge business is California. You've got Silicon Valley, you've got all the other things going on there. I love California. I loved spending time in Orange County and San Francisco, Napa Valley, Sonoma County, Tiburon, and all the places I go there. I love California. California is one of the best places in the world because you can do anything. You can go skiing in California, and you can go to the beach. It's got everything. It's like a country in its own right. Is California. So Gavin Newsom needs to man up, grow up, and show up. He needs to control the situation. And Donald Trump He's stirring the pot. He's just being a complete petulant pest, like he always is, because Donald Trump is an ego. Like he is having a shit show off with Elon Musk. It's, richest man in the world versus the most powerful man in the world. He's doing the same thing with Gavin. Of course he is, because Gavin is, the California is the most successful state in America. Out of all the states, the most successful is California. So he's having a row with them. He likes to do this because he stirs the pot. And his stirring of the pot means that he gets to a stage where he can then say, "Oh, I've had a victory," when they cave in. Well, Gavin Newsom is a bit of a tough cookie. And okay, Gavin's ex-wife ran off with, guess who? Donald Trump's son. So we all know about, Kimberly Guilfoyle, who is now ambassador for Greece. I talk from experience here. I have met these people. I have spent time with these people. This is an insane situation. Donald Trump has crossed the line a little bit too much. Enough is enough. But I don't know how this situation will play out. I don't know. I don't know what comes next with this particular situation. We will see what happens. But I speak from experience of having known Gavin. I knew Gavin when he was mayor of San Francisco. And Gavin, was a drug addict. He's been through, rehab. He's done all the rest. He's part of the Gettys. He's got all the links, everything. He's Mr. Elite. He owned the Balboa Cafe. He owned all sorts of other bars and restaurants in San Francisco. He was known as the Gavinator because he came on from the Governator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. So he was the Gavinator, not the Governator. So I do know a little bit about the situation. So my view is that this is not going to play out well for Gavin Newsom because Donald Trump's actually in charge. So I think Gavin Newsom's going to find he's going to lose this little battle. That's my prediction. Anyway, there we go. Let's move along. Next question. I think a different question would be useful. Right. Okay. What do I think of Benedict Cumberbatch? I don't have any particular views on Benedict Cumberbatch. Sorry, no. So sorry, I can't answer your question. I don't know why you're asking me a question about him because he's just an actor. I don't know what's the question. Have I ever played Super Mario Kart? Nope, never played that. No, I liked Sim City. I used to play that as a child. That's the only computer game I ever played, I think. And I had access to every computer game on the planet because obviously my mother was very involved in technology, and I was given every computer game. I just gave them to my friends. I wanted to read books. I never liked computer games. I was never interested in computer games. Weirdly, I was the most spoilt child on the planet when it came to computer games because my mum was involved in Microsoft and all the rest of it. And I got every computer game on the planet. And I was just like, this is not interesting to me. I'd rather have a book. So I used to have books, lots of books. Not as many books as my father. My father has about 22,000 books, but I've read. And anyway, thank you to every one of you who's written to me. And I will be sending you the address tomorrow. I'm sorry, I just haven't had a chance today because we ended up going out. Thank you so much for offering to send me some books because I can read lots of books a week. I love a book. It's so nice that you offered to send me books, because down here you can't really get English books. There's a bookstall, and well, it's all like bonk busters and rubbish. That, this is the kind of Julie Cooper. Not there's anything wrong with Julie Cooper, because I think Julie Cooper's a lovely lady, but it's not what I want to read, and I don't want to pay €10 for a stupid book that I don't want to read. So it's very, very kind that you could send me some books. So thank you to those kind people who offered to send the books. So I'll be in touch with you tomorrow, because my stupid computer doesn't work, and my stupid phone's useless. But I'll try and tap it in on the stupid phone tomorrow. Thank you very much. Right, okay, the sloths, yes. Well, you should all sign the petition for the sloths. As Steve R. says, sloths are not pets. And Tamara Eccleston should not be having mistreating sloths and using them for her children's parties, precisely. Totally agree with you. Victoria Haig, my lovely Victoria, the racehorse trainer, the jockey. Do they have red phone box with books? We don't have any books. We used to have a bookstall at the end of the street, but unfortunately, the Guardian has given up on that. So, unfortunately, we don't have any free books. No, we haven't. You have an English thing in Maison Lafitte. Okay, well, that's lovely. And Lady Min says hello to Victoria.
Victoria, when are you coming?
Victoria, she'd like you to turn up. So when are you turning up, Victoria? We'd like you down here in the south of France. We do have other visitors coming in due course, but we'd love to have Victoria here. So it would be absolutely wonderful.
Take us to the wedding.
Would you like to come to a wedding with us, Victoria? That's what she's saying. I don't think it's appropriate to take other people to weddings, but you actually do know many of the people attending the wedding, because many of them are involved in horse racing. So it would actually be quite appropriate to take you to the wedding. So anyway, we're going to a wedding on the 27th of June. So that's been arranged. So we're having...
From that man.
Oh, anyway, no, don't start shouting now in the background about that. Okay. Victoria says, as long as it's not her wedding. It's not Victoria Beckham's wedding. No, Victoria Beckham. Victoria Beckham is already married, obviously, so she won't be getting married again.
We don't want to go anywhere near them.
Matthew for Prime Minister says, we love hearing from Lady Min.
Oh, well, there you go.
There you go. Speak up, then.
You tell me to shut up all the time.
SS Racing would like to be Lady Min's +1. There you go. SS Racing would like to be with you. There you go. Right. Okay. Well, you all want to meet. Well, we'll be organising a meeting at some point, at some place in the future. I don't know where it will be, but it won't be at this wedding, because I cannot be taking all of you to somebody's wedding where you're not invited. I'm sorry to say.
Don't come here.
She'd like you to come and visit. So if any of you would like to come and visit, you are welcome to come and visit. We are getting a visitor arriving next Friday. He's coming all the way from Broadstairs in Kent, which will be a wonderful thing. He's going to jet in from there. So that will be a lovely thing. And that will be wonderful. So won't that be great?
Yeah.
We have Max from Broadstairs arriving next Friday. He's coming on the Sleazy Jet. So we're going up to Nice to go and have a little day out. And then we're going to collect him at the airport at about 9 o'clock at night. And then we're going to come back and he'll be here for a few days. So we're going to get a bit of Broadstairs action in Port Grimaud, Saint-Tropez. So we're going to have a bit of fun with our lovely friend. I don't know who's going to sleep where or what bedroom anyone's going to, because at the moment it's all a bit up and down with bedrooms, but we will figure it out. So, but he's arriving on the 13th. So today is the 9th. So we're going to have visitors, and that will give us a bit of joy and a bit of action in our lives. So won't that be lovely? Yes, we're going to have a bit of a party.
Hope so.
So she's looking forward to Max arriving, because Max will no doubt tell me off and keep me in order. So that's what she likes. And she gets on very well with the Irish. So we've got the Irish arriving. So there we are. Broadstairs are arriving. There we go. Anyway, it's going to be very, very nice to have a visitor. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
So we're going to have a bit of fun. Then we're going to a wedding. So
Is Max coming to the wedding?
no, he won't be here for the wedding. I've just got Lady Bienvenida Buck. Right, she wants me to have my own gin in her name. All right, Lady Bienvenida has suggested having a Steeples gin. Okay, that's very nice of you, Lady Bienvenida. Thank you. Yeah, she's a lovely lady. You know, she's had all sorts of controversy, but I've got some great people in my life. I had Samantha Markle on the phone yesterday. We get all sorts of wonderful people. We get everyone from the tramp in the Gard Freinet to Lady Bienvenida Buck. There we go.
You
So,
lost your duck.
but we have lost our bird. Our bird has been stolen by the nasty neighbor, who probably kicked it in the sea again.
You exaggerate with that.
No, I do not exaggerate. The poor bird gets kicked in the water. It's not very nice. It's not correct. It's horrible that people abuse animals. And anyway, if it comes back, it comes back. It probably won't. I think it's probably dead.
It will.
She always believes it's going to come back, but today I had to go and rescue it with the help of another German neighbor who was a kind person who happens to own an English boat. So there we go. And he'd witnessed the nasty German neighbor, the nasty old woman, kicking it into the water. So that wasn't very nice. I don't think it's kind to kick a poor little bird into the sea when it can't swim and it can't walk and it can't, it can't do very much. It can't fly, it can't get out. And unfortunately, the only way out is if it gets to the end of the dock and it doesn't know where it's going. And I had to go with a stick and I guided it with the bloody stick to get it to the end. And the kind German did help, so he was a nice gentleman. So when we're going to have our little cocktail party, they are invited. I'm afraid the nasty woman is not invited. She is not invited anymore. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
We ban her from our cocktail parties. We're like Hyacinth Bucket here. There's no candle-lit supper for her. Marguerite, on your merry way. Don't kick the lovely creature into the sea. There we go. I am an animal. At least I am an animal lover, says Matt. Yes, I am. I do care about animals. I've grown up in on a farm in rural community. I've grown up with shooting, fishing, hunting, all the rest of it. But you respect the beautiful animals. Never, ever abuse the animal. It is wrong to abuse animals. And I'm afraid this woman has abused the animal. And I don't like it. I do not like animal abuse, and I will not be tolerating it. It is unacceptable in 1984, and it is definitely unacceptable in 2025. So, maybe I'll give her a stick and push her into the sea. Maybe that's what she deserves. She's a naturist. She likes to be naked, so why doesn't she just throw herself in the water? Off she can go with the poo. Down in the dirty water. I think that's probably where she belongs, because it's not very nice to attack beautiful nature. Don't do it. Not a good idea. Don't do it in my presence, because and those people across the way, they said, "Oh, that horrible woman kicked it into the sea." They saw her do it. Anyway, I'm going to invite them round for drinks so they can tell their story because they're nice people. They're actually honest. They're decent, and they own a lovely boat, and it's made in England. They're German, but they own a British boat. There we go. It's a terribly smart boat. But there we go. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Next question. Let's not talk about this anymore. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Let's be honest. Yeah. Tell her to put her nest away. You'd punch her in the face. Well, there you go. Right. Oh God, she's not very popular, is old Marguerite. Oh dear. Have I ever driven a Ferrari? Yes, I have driven a Ferrari. I drove a Ferrari 4x4, the FF or whatever it's called. I drove that from London to Norfolk, and then I drove it on the beach, and I had a wonderful time. Oh yeah, that was a great car to have for a weekend. I had that for one weekend. That was the most cool car, I think. I liked the 4-wheel drive Ferrari. I thought it was a lovely car. Absolutely fabulous. I did enjoy that car, yes. There you go. Correct, yes. Right. What do you call birds that stick? I don't know. Together. Velcros. Okay. Oh, well, there we are. Bit of a joke. Who is Lady Buck? Lady Bienvenida Buck is a friend of mine. She's a lovely lady who had relationships with very high-profile politicians, and anyway, she's a very nice lady, and she lives in Liverpool, and she's a lovely friend, and we say cheers to her. You would love her, Victoria. So anyway, when you meet her, you'll have great times with her. She's great fun. So we love people who enjoy life, and she's one person who enjoys life. Right. Okay. Right. Next question. You've got a biscuitec. I've got a box full of books for you. Here we are. We're going to have loads of books. So Lady Min will be kept entertained with books, and I will be kept entertained with books. Thank you. I'm going to write back to you all on email tomorrow morning because the problem is my passwords, because I don't have my new computer yet. I've got the old computer. I've got this computer I'm borrowing. I can't get into my email on the computer, so I have to do it all on the telephone, and the telephone's kind of a bit kaput as well. So we've got to work out how to do it. But I'll do it all on the thing tomorrow. So I'll email every one of you the same message. I can just cut and paste, I suppose. And I'll say thank you very much because it's so kind of you all to offer to send books because we need some books, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lady Min would love some books. She likes to read kind of light-hearted things compared to what I like to read. I'm more serious, but she's a bit more, she's a bit more bonkbuster as opposed to my love of political biographies and all the rest.
Whitney Wilbur Smith.
She'd love some Wilbur Smith. If anyone has any, that's what she'd like. I don't want to read Wilbur Smith, but I like Wilbur Smith obviously, because he was a lovely friend. But I don't really need to read that, to be honest. So, but if anyone has a Wilbur Smith, if you're going to send it, it would be lovely. So if you could send some books tomorrow, that would be so lovely. Thank you. That's really kind. It will keep her happy. I don't know what we need for the bird, but there we go. You love Jilly Cooper. Yes. Well, Jilly Cooper's a good thing. Any good, easy read. I think Jilly Cooper would suit her perfectly.
Good.
Yeah, she's good, she says. She likes a bit of Jilly Cooper. It's all about sex, she says. Oh, a bit of spice and things nice. There we go. I think we need a bit of Agatha Christie more than that, but that would be far better. But I did watch at Bertram's Hotel. I finished watching at Bertram's Hotel in the middle of the night, obviously. I do love a bit of Agatha Christie, obviously, because, clever. And then there were none, of course, and all the rest. But I've read all of those things myself. I've read everything of that when I was a child because I was an obsessive, weird child that read weird books. And, I read all sorts of things. I read every Sherlock Holmes book and, all the rest. I'm like the weird child that read and read and read and read until I was sick. I was always given books, and I could finish a book within 2 hours because I'm a speed reader. I'm obsessed with the way I read. Oh, I've got Lady Buck trying to ring me, but I unfortunately will not be answering her telephone call. But Lady Bienvenida is trying to call, but I will not be answering her call. So there we are. Anyway, she's a lovely lady. She's a good friend and an absolute delightful lady. But I can't do anything about it because we're talking here. So I'm very sorry about the noise in the background. But unfortunately, I can't answer the phone call to Lady Bienvenida. But she's a lovely, lovely lady. Anyway, right. I did go to a grammar school. Yes, I didn't go to a public school. No, I did not. Pity it wasn't Michael Barrymore ringing. If it had been Michael Barrymore, maybe we'd have put him on speakerphone. But we don't need to have a word with him. He's awful. Would I like the 50 Shades of Beige book? I don't know what that is. The book I would really like is the book about the leveret, the book about the little hare. I'd love to read that book. That's one I'd love to read. So, did I ever meet Jimmy Savile? No, I never met Jimmy Savile, thank God. I met Timmy Mallet, and he shouted at me as a child at Jodrell Bank in Cheshire. I was with my grandmother, and Granny Howard had taken me to go to the, look at all the space stuff, which I wasn't really interested in because I've never been interested. I'm really not interested in anything like that. Totally boring to me. Not my thing. I'm not really interested in space. It's just not my thing. I like, words and books and things. And my grandmother thought it would be get you into science. So off we went on this day out, and there we get into the old car, and off we go with Granny Howard and stupid Mrs. whatever her name was, and off we go. And Dave the driver was like, he won't be interested in this. He was right. And we got there, and we wandered down this pathway, and there's this van, and this van has a load of cables coming out of it. Well, I thought, I don't like the look of these cables. I was a horrible little child, and I was very nasty. I decided I'd pull out all the cables. So I wrecked the TV show. So I wrecked Timmy Mallet's TV show. So Timmy Mallet got out of his little thing and started shouting at me. Because obviously he knew that I'd been the one who sabotaged his program. And my grandmother, well, she didn't realize what had gone on. So she turned to him and she said, "You, young man," she said, "you behave yourself. Don't you dare speak to my grandchild like that." He was quite right to give me a telling off, let's be honest, because I was a very naughty child. I'd pulled out all the cables of his program, so I'd wrecked the TV show. So anyway, he got a right old telling off, and he had to apologize to me. And my grandmother said, "You will apologize to my grandchild," and he did. So he shouldn't have had to apologize, because I do apologize to you, Timmy Mallet, if you're listening. You're never going to be listening, obviously, but It was me that was the bad one. I did the bad thing that day. I was an appallingly behaved child. Um, but that was the kind of thing that I used to do. I was a naughty child. I was never ever. I wasn't under control. I was never controlled. This is why I don't believe I would ever be good as a parent, because my children would be as bad as me. I'm an appalling person with children. Children would be out of control in my presence, so it's not a good thing to have children. But anyway, that was that. So naughty me, I did misbehave with Timmy Mallet, but I didn't dislike Timmy Mallet. I don't like Anthea Turner, obviously. No. There you go. Keith Floyd was the best. I totally agree with you. Keith Floyd, absolutely superb man. Never met him, but what a wonderful man. Fabulous, absolutely fabulous. He had freedom of speech, and he did what he wanted, and he said what he wanted, and he communicated cooking in a different way to all these boring, bland, boring, beige people that we have now. So yeah, we love Keith Lloyd. Fabulous. Right, next one. Okay, right. What am I drinking? I'm having a little bit of white wine, and that's that. Right. Have I ever met Chris Moyles? No. Can't say I've met Chris Moyles. No, never met him. Okay. Right. Chris Tarrant told you to fuck off when you were 12. Oh, that wasn't very nice, was it? Chris Tarrant's wife, the Swedish mad woman, she's totally awful. Don't like her. I had major row with her. She's very into Brexit. She's completely mad. She's a complete nutcase. Ingrid Tarrant, yeah, that's her. I had quite a run-in with her once. With the dreadful, awful specimen. What's her name? That dreadful woman from Loose Women. The Irish woman. Oh, God. I've forgotten the name. Friend of Cliff Richard. Oh, God. I've forgotten her name. Oh, she's so bad. She's the worst. Gloria Hunniford. That's the one. Inglorious Hunniford. She is the very worst of all of them. I really cannot stand Gloria Hunniford. This lady we know called Jackie. I'm not going to give her surname because it would be unfair to criticize Jackie, because Jackie's actually harmless. She's just a bit silly. But she goes and spends time with Gloria. And she says, "Oh, I'm with Gloria, who's got 2 swimming pools. That's we can only swim in one bloody swimming pool at once, you silly old bag." It's completely mad. Gloria Hunniford is the worst of the pits. She's awful. Inglorious. She's a bully. She's a nasty old bag, is Inglorious. We don't like Inglorious. No. She's the worst. Have I ever met Michael Palin? Of course I have. Michael Palin came to stay with my parents. Michael Palin was fabulous. He came to stay with Victoria Wood, another wonderful lady. Is it on the trolley? What a wonderful pair they were. They were fabulous. Such lovely people to spend time with. I've been very lucky to spend time with some amazing people like Alan Bennett. I've had all sorts of wonderful people in our company. We've had the best of the best. We meet some awful people along the way, but you have to meet a few awful people to meet the best. So we've been very, very lucky to spend time with such lovely people. Did I meet Julian Clary? No, never met him. Did I meet Gordon Bennett? No, I don't think so. Melvin Bragg. Yeah, I used to spend time on the train with him. I don't know him personally. My mother did know him vaguely, but I don't think I've ever personally met him. But maybe my mother met him. But he lived in the Lake District, and we were always on the same train on a Friday afternoon when I was at university, around about 2001, maybe. So I would sit next to him on the train, but I didn't know him personally. No. So no, he's no personal connection. But we would always be in the first class thing on the train because I knew the trick to get the first class on the train as a student. It cost me less to go first class than it would have cost me to go in the standard. So I had a perfectly good trick. It works out wonderfully. So yeah, yes, I used to sit with Melvin Bragg on the train, but he is not a personal friend. Have I met Sean Connery? Nope, never met Sean Connery. Um, You love Greta. She's fearless. Well, we don't love Greta. Greta is an absolute disgrace. Greta Thunberg is the most revolting piece of rubbish on the planet. How dare she behave in this way? Shame on her. She should bog off, shut her mouth, and clear off. We don't like Greta Thunberg. She's not fun in any sense. Thunberg. She should shove off and get out of our way. We don't want you in our pub. We don't like you, you nasty little bitch. You are the worst of the worst, Greta Thunberg. You are a disgrace. Shame on you. Because all you do is it's all about you. You're an attention seeker. You don't care about other people. It's all about making yourself famous. You don't care about those people in Palestine. You care about you. You're a selfish, horrible little rat. Get off the ship and bog off, you nasty little woman. You're nasty. You're an absolutely appalling person. You are the worst person I've ever encountered in my entire life. There's not many people I can say I hate, but I do hate you, Greta Thunberg, because you're not fun at all. You're awful. You are sick in the head. You are a wicked, evil bitch. Get off our planet. We don't need you. You've manipulated even King Charles. I'm disgusted that he has fallen for you. You are sick in the head. You're a revolting pest. You're disgusting. You're evil. You're the most evil person I've ever come across. You're like Hitler. Something about you. You're a manipulative bitch. Get off our planet. We don't need you here. Thunberg. You're not fun in any sense of the word. Get away from us. I don't like this woman. I think she's evil and revolting. Steve R says she's even worse than Cliff Richard. Right. Ian says she's not that bad. Well, you're entitled to your view. I'm entitled to my view. I think that she is evil. I think she's one of the most evil people who's ever existed because she is a manipulative bitch. She has tried to change the narrative and she tells lies. She's a liar. She's a complete fraud. This is the biggest fraudster on the planet. Expialidocious says Matthew is on a roll. Is she worse than Claire Mandel? Of course she's worse than Claire Mandel. Claire Mandel is harmless. Claire Mandel's just a stupid old bag. Right. Obi-Wan says, I'm a drunk and I'm ranting. Okay, Obi-Wan, bog off and get off my fucking channel. I don't want you here. So, yeah, I am a drunk ranting in your view. Get off my channel. Get out of here. Get out of my pub, as Barbara Windsor would say. Get out. Okay. Right. Steve R says, yes, I agree with you. A vile, horrible person. Totally agree with you. You're completely right. I'm not drunk, precisely. Yes. Thank you, the desolate one. A man can have a drink, precisely. So cheers to you all. And I say, I'm perfectly fine having a drink, but I'm perfectly allowed to make a comment about this matter. Right, yes. It's my channel, and I can say who should be on my channel and who shouldn't be on my channel. I'm entitled to say who I should throw off my channel. So there we go.
Drunk or not?
And Lady Min says drunk or not, but I'm not drunk at the moment, in my view. But you might think I'm drunk. But if you think I'm drunk, it's up to you. You're entitled to your view. But I'm not drunk. I'm just giving an opinion. But right. What's my favorite film? I don't have favorite films, but if I could have any film, I would love to watch.
Gone with the Wind.
No, Lady Min loves Gone with the Wind. I love Kind Hearts and Coronets. Obviously, Whistle Down the Wind is a wonderful film that I absolutely adore. You know, Jesus and all that. I love The Remains of the Day, things like that. So, yeah, lots of lovely films. Anyway, we are very happy people. But I don't need nasty people having a pop at me. So if you want to have a go at me, shove it up your jumper. Get out. Get out. Go and bog off. We don't do nasty people. We never tolerate nasty people. So nasty people can bog off. And you all realize this because, you know, you come back. The bullies, well, take yourself somewhere else and shove it up your jumper. Totally right. Yeah, tell them to bog off. Yeah, right, Tina de Silva. Well said. Right. Lizzie Murray, quite correct. Totally agree with you. And Expialidocious, bog off nasty people. Yeah, right. Yeah, we don't like nasty people here. We don't need the nasty people in this room because there's so many lovely people. So we don't need you. So anyway, the bullies don't win. They never win. Not in our room, because this is a lovely room. So there we go. Get out and bog off, says Steve R. Thank you, Steve. I agree with you. Get out of my pub, says Dan Sup. Precisely. Right. Too much hate.
Baba. Hello, Baba.
Oh, no, now there's a big seagull coming back. Well, we don't need that. We don't need that. We need little seagulls.
Came for the food.
No, just leave it alone. Please don't encourage it. In the background, a certain person's encouraging this big bird to come back, but we don't need the big bird because the big bird is a bit much trouble. But anyway, we want our little bird back. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, you hate the bullies. You hate the bullies. You hate the bullies. Yes, precisely. So let's move along. Right. Any more questions on a different topic? Let's have a different topic. And then we'll do a quiz. Let's do a different topic and a quiz because we're at 48 minutes, and at 1 hour we'll do a quiz. So 10 minutes of questions. Let's have 10 minutes of questions. Let's do that. That'd be very nice, wouldn't it? If you ever imagined what a goblin looked like, it would be Greta. Yes. I totally agree with you. Greta looks like a goblin. I totally agree. Greta is the most grim-looking person on the planet. I loathe and detest Greta. Greta is an evil, evil woman. Can we do a food review on the tiramisu? We'll maybe, but we haven't had any of it yet. But I've got to put it in the fridge shortly. There we go. You'd like a Q&A with Min. What would you like to ask Min? What's the question? What's your question? Have you got a question? Do I like Cliff Richard? No, I don't like Cliff Richard, obviously. You all know that already, so that's a silly question to ask. Have I ever met Bono? No, never met Bono. No.
Hello, Baba. Baby's back.
What? It's not back. The bird's here. She's making things up. I'm very sorry. The big fat bird is here, but not the little bird. No,
Can you eat this cake?
I don't need the cake. I'm trying to do this program.
I know.
Don't interrupt. Greta is a goblin. Yes, I agree. Have I ever met Frederick Forsyth? Sadly, never. No, but he's a brilliant writer. I'd love to meet Frederick Forsyth. What are my thoughts on Queer Matthew? I don't know who he is. No idea. Cliff Richard is evil. I totally agree with you. Right. When am I visiting Scotland? Hopefully very soon. Get some peaches. Well, we have peaches here, but Madam doesn't seem to want to eat them because she doesn't like them.
Millions of peaches here.
Have I been to Sunderland? I've been to Sunderland. Yes, I've been to Sunderland. The new hate crimes in laws in Ireland. Is to say to dislike someone. Lucky you're not in Ireland. I don't know. I haven't been to Ireland recently, but I hope to come to visit Ireland soon. I don't know why there's a problem. You seem to love Keir Starmer. Okay, right. Okay, you love Keir Starmer. Well, I don't love Keir Starmer, that's for sure. Right, little or oldie? I don't know. I've been to Aldi once, and I thought it was a wonderful place, and they sell wonderful products. I'd love to go to a little, but I haven't been to one, so I don't have a problem with either. So I don't know. Did I see the reporter shot with a rubber bullet in California? I didn't see that. No, I don't really have much computer access.
Kill a tortoise.
I haven't got a computer, so I can't really see what's going on. Would I like Rod Liddle or Peter Hitchens? Well, neither nor. No, neither. Okay, that's my answer to your question. Do I have shares in a racehorse presently? Not presently, no. My father has a number of racehorses, and my stepmother has many racehorses. But no, we don't have a racehorse currently myself. Are people saying you and Lady Min are the new Richard and Judy? We're definitely not the new Richard and Judy, and we don't want to be. No.
No way.
We don't like Richard and Judy, so that's not a very nice thing to say. So thank you, but not thank you for your question or
Don't
comment.
insult me.
She says, "Don't insult me." So she's not very happy by your comment. Right, you can't buy anything on Marks and Spencer's website. It doesn't work. Okay, Miss Marple. Right. Am I Mrs. Merton and Malcolm? I don't know who Malcolm is, but there we are. Right. Would you like to come and stay at our Airbnb in Donegal on the coast?
Yes.
We'd love to come to Donegal, Sebastian. That's very kind. Lady Min is actually saying yes. She'd love to come and visit your Airbnb in Donegal, Ireland.
Yeah.
It's about time we paid a visit to Ireland because Ireland is the most lovely place. And it's about time we paid a visit. So, yes. What's my best racetrack to visit? My favorite racetrack is actually Brighton. I love Brighton. It's the best racetrack for me, just where we happen to have the best winners. So Brighton works for me. And I also love Newcastle. Newcastle's a very good track. And Cartmel. Cartmel's the kind of obscure little weird one. So there's the 3 racetracks that I really love. Totally different in every sense. Each one is unique in a different way. But I love those 3 racetracks. So there we go. Okay. Dance Up says Richard Madeley is not a good person. Totally agree with you. Do I like David Starkey or Miriam Margoyles? Well, I'd prefer David Starkey to Miriam because Miriam is absolutely vile. I don't like either of them. My father cannot stand that David Starkey. He's the son of a cobbler and he's just a pompous old prick. He's got the most affected accent. He's a complete liar. He's a fraudster. He's absolutely disgusting. Have I met Floella Benjamin? No, I've never met her, but I think she's probably a very nice lady. Don't know her. Have I ever met Jimi Hendrix? No, I never met Jimi Hendrix. No. You love Miriam Margoyles. Oh, well, good for you. I don't love her. I think she's horrible. I think she's an awful person. Right. Cobblers and tool makers. Yep, precisely. Yes, Keir Starmer, the horrible donkey man. Have I ever visited Silverstone? Of course I've been to Silverstone. I've been to all sorts of events at Silverstone. I've witnessed lovely races there. And it's a fabulous place. A bit noisy, but, I had a good day out there. So, yeah. Have I ever visited Knob End? No, I haven't been to Knob End. No, it's not as far as I'm aware. Do I know Zippy from Rainbow? Well, no, I've never met Zippy from Rainbow. Floella Benjamin tried to rip your sister's shop off back in the day, says Robert. I don't know. Well, I couldn't possibly comment. I don't know anything about what Floella Benjamin tried to do to your sister's shop. Why did Elon Musk have a black eye? I think his child hit him. That's what the common consensus was. I don't know. I'm not an expert on what happened with Elon Musk. I've never met Elon Musk in my entire life. I've never met Donald Trump. I don't know. I've never met Melania. Obviously, I have met Ghislaine Maxwell. I have met, lots of people connected with this whole little circuit of nasty little rats. But, do I know Jeffrey from Rainbow? No, I've never met Jeffrey from Rainbow. Have I ever attended a baseball game? No, I've never attended a baseball game. I attended an American football game with my friends who were the biggest supporters of Jeffrey Epstein. No, sorry, of what was his name? The man who, oh God, I've forgotten his name. Anyway, I've been to one of those. Right, okay, right. Have I ever met Kevin Spacey? No, I've never met Kevin Spacey, but he upset my friend Stephen Burkhoff. He's a complete creep. Shame on him. Don't like him. Absolute piece of rubbish. But I've never met him. Never met him in person. Have I ever been... What? Gin Jar Minge. I don't know what that means, so that's a totally thing. Have I ever met Matthew Kelly? No, never met Matthew Kelly. Right. Some very strange questions coming from some of you. Okay. Any more strange questions before I end this matter? You find Stephen Burkhoff quite scary. Well, I can tell you this. Stephen Burkhoff is one of my best friends in the world. He's an absolutely fabulous gentleman, and he's not scary at all. So why don't you shove off and bog off and stop saying such silly things because that's a load of old rot. Anyway, you're entitled to your opinion, but your opinion's a load of old horseshit. So don't like your opinion. What do I think of Norman Lamont? Norman Lamont, he's a nice man. Had a glass of wine with him in November. That's the last time I saw him. I don't know what his drink of choice. I don't know. The last time I saw Norman Lamont was at Chelsea Harbour at a drinks party, and we had a glass of wine together. So we had white wine. I don't know what he likes white wine, obviously, because he was drinking white wine next to me. But I don't know what else he drinks. So I don't know what Norman Lamont's drink of choice is. So anyway, there we are. Move along. Next question. What do I think of Anne Diamond? Not my kind of person. Don't know her, but I don't really want to know her. I'm not really interested in people like her. She's boring.
Well, my trolley is. I've got to go to the bathroom.
Do I like Graham Norton?
Yes.
No, I don't like Graham Norton. No,
Why?
he's just camp and annoying. He's just a bit of an old queen. Do I like James Hewitt? Yes, I do like James Hewitt. Yes, he's a good old friend. He's driving aid to Ukraine currently, and he's not the father of Prince Harry. That's all the rubbish. So before you carry on with that argument, that's boring. Right. Okay. Well, anyway, a certain person needs to go to the bathroom, so I'm going to have to.
Well, it's fine. I can wait.
Well, I'll assist her get to the bathroom, and then I'll come back. Just give me one moment, and I will be back. God. Here we go.
Oh, don't fall over.
I'm not going to fall over. Why would I fall over? You're the one that's going to fall over.
Oh.
Get up.
Oh no, I'll get in there. I won't be able to do anything. Ah. Ah.
We can get all the way over there, can't we?
I can get over there, yeah.
And I'll put these.
I'll call you.
I'll pour some more of this stupid wine.
Why don't you eat a banana?
I don't need a banana.
There's lots of bananas here and peaches.
I don't like bananas.
Peaches you like.
Right. Okay, viewers. Okay, right, viewers. She's going to the bathroom, and unfortunately, I have to.
What?
I have to leave her to.
What?
She wants a banana. Peaches, precisely. There we go. Life is a roller coaster. Sometimes one can't get off. So anyway, we're here. So we're smiling politely, and yes. This is what happens when you deal with a situation of this type. Every day is full of bizarre antics, and one can't just say goodbye. Well, it is a hard thing to deal with, but anyway, we just have to muddle along as we can. That's all we do. God knows why bananas are a good idea, but there we are. Anyway, let's talk about something else. Yep. Right. Okay. Well, it's very hard, I will say, but Bananas. Yeah, we're all going bananas, aren't we? We're all bonkers, aren't we? So anyway, let's smile politely. I realize all the correct things you're saying, but unfortunately, it won't be listened to. So there we go. Anyway. Anyway, let's talk about something completely different. Anything jolly. Something jolly would be very nice. Yeah. No, she does rock. She's doing very well. Absolutely fabulous in some ways. Yes, the noise is a bit ridiculous, but there we go. Right. Okay. Well, I hope we've got something fun to say. Let's have something fun. What about the sloths? The petition's doing very well. It's jolly well time. More of you sign my petition to do with the sloths. If you could please sign the petition, that would be absolutely fabulous. Yeah, I'd love a fish finger sandwich. I would love some fish fingers. Anyway, she's coming back and she's doing very well. So it's all very good. She'll sit down and it'll all be okay. So, yeah. So anyway, next part of the question. Have we got another question? Do I love a toad in the hole? Yes, I love a toad in the hole. I wish I could have one of those. That'd be absolutely glorious.
I like toad in the hole too.
She likes toad in the hole too, so she says.
I made it at school.
She made it at school. There you go. We're getting all sorts of theories from her. Right. Okay. Right. You signed the petition last week. You shared it with friends. Thank you very much. It's now nearly at 1,100. So we need a few more signatures. That will be fabulous. Right. We need a few more of you. Right. Okay. Where are we up to? Okay. Have we got... We're at 1 hour and 7 minutes, so we're doing quite well here on this little thing. And we're carrying on, Do I like Haagen-Dazs or Ben and Jerry's? I don't really care for either. No, I just like ordinary ice cream, to be honest. Normal ice cream. Have I met Lord Mandelson? Yes, I have met Peter Mandelson. I met him weirdly with Helen Lederer, who was, of course, was absolutely fabulous, and Katie Hopkins, the right-wing fascist, and Kathy Lett, of all people, at a place in Covent Garden. It was a private members club where we gave some debates. We did some debates there before the lockdowns, and that's how I'm. What a weird collection of people to put together. All of us, we were like the weirdest bunch of people you could ever put together, and there we were. And yeah, that's how when I was last with Peter Mandelson. I have met him on other occasions. But I don't think Peter Mandelson is fit to be ambassador to America, given his associations with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein, and all the others. Peter Mandelson is an unacceptable person. He's a disgrace. I don't.
Time to come here. We got a whole lot of cake.
I don't know why Lady Min is shouting that Peter Mandelson should come here.
With all this cake?
Peter Mandelson should come for a cake. What a bizarre thing to state. Anyway.
If anyone's around here, then just come for the cake.
Anyway. Have I met Morrissey? No. Have I met Kathy Burke? Nope. Barrymore is making a comeback. Well, He might be, but he's disgusting.
Because he promotes himself.
Rose West is on her way out. Well, I hope Rosemary West die. I hope Rosemary West dies the most painful death of anyone on the planet, given what she
Even the
did.
cake.
No, Rosemary West deserves to die the worst death on the planet because she's an evil, evil, evil bitch. You know, she is one of only 4 people on life means life sentences, and she deserves to be on that because she is a murderess who murdered her own children and other people's children. She is a disgusting, sick, evil
Who's that?
bitch. Rosemary West.
Oh,
So let her burn in hell. Rosemary West
she's still alive?
is one of the worst people on the planet.
I thought she died years ago.
No, she is one of 4 people who are on life means life. The lady shouting in the background has got no knowledge of any of this, so it's not really helping having her interfere with the thing. Okay. Do I like Bakewell tarts? No, I don't like Bakewell tarts. Not my kind of thing. Even though I was born in Chesterfield, Derbyshire, which was very near Bakewell, and obviously, my grandparents lived in Derbyshire for a very long, substantial period of time. But I don't like Bakewell tarts. Right. Okay. Rosemary West will have a special place in hell. Totally 100% agree with you. Boy George is not a good person. Boy George is one of the most evil people on the planet. Also, he sexually abused my friend Auden, and I'm not going to give his surname because I don't think he needs to be dragged back into this. He lives in Norway with his family again now, and he was chained to a radiator by the evil Boy George. So Boy George is a very nasty piece of toe rag. A very bad person. Okay, what do I think of John West? I'm not sure who John West is. Who is John West? I don't know. Don't know him. Right, you love sticky toffee pudding. Well, so do I. And of course, the best sticky toffee pudding in the world comes from my mum's friend in Cartmel. Cartmel's sticky toffee pudding. It's the most popular sticky toffee pudding in the world, and it was something she made in her post office. And then Waitrose came along and said, "This is so good, we must sell it in our shop." And now she has 300 people making it, in a little old shop in from a little old shop in Cartmel in Cumbria, next to the little old racetrack. There was the tiniest racetrack in Britain. She now makes sticky toffee pudding, the best sticky toffee pudding. Lady Min has tried it. She probably doesn't remember it, but it was the best sticky toffee pudding you could ever have, and it's sold throughout the land. And what a wonderful businesswoman she's become. My mum's friend who makes Cartmel sticky toffee pudding in her little post office shop. So we salute you. Well done. That's a great thing. John West tinned salmon. I don't know anything about John West tinned salmon. I'm sorry, I don't know it. Sorry, I can't answer your question. Do I like Millionaire's shortbread? I don't know anything about that either. So I'm sorry, I can't answer your question. Do I like bread and butter pudding? Of course I do. It's a lovely dish. Absolutely delightful, but I don't have it very often. But it's a nice thing to have now and again. Right. Have I met Ivanka Quelf? I don't know who that is. I'm very sorry. Again, you ask me questions that I can't answer. I don't know why you want to ask all these bizarre questions. I think you're trying to trip me up, some of you. I think some of these questions are trying to trip me up. I don't know what that means. I don't understand what that means. So sorry. I think that's a fake question. Right. Do I like the Eccles cakes? No, as you've already been told in the past, I don't like Eccles cakes. I call them fly pies. I don't like them. I don't like Eccles cakes. I think they're disgusting. Absolutely revolting. I've said that before. Have I met Eileen Dover? This is you are trying to trip me up and trying to ask silly questions. So don't try and ask me silly questions because seriously, whoever you are, bog off. Get off my channel. You're a bully, whoever you are. Go away. That's not very nice. I'm not going to fall for your tricks. I'm not that stupid. I'm not like the idiot that you think I am. You're the idiot for asking such an idiotic question. So get off my channel. Get out of my pub, as they say. Get out of my room. I'm very disgusted by your rudeness. Whoever you are, seriously, man up, grow up, bog off. Get out of my channel. Yes, as Mary Taylor says, silly questions are very irritating. Yes, I don't like the stupid questions. Go away, you boring, boring person. You're boring because you're not achieving anything because you're not actually getting an answer. So you think that you're being clever. Go shove yourself up your own jumper, you piece of rubbish. Get out. Right. Okay. Anyway. Right. Okay. Lots of you being very pleasant. Thank you for that. That's very nice that you're being very pleasant. This person is just trying to stir the pot. Some of them say it was just a joke. Yeah, well, it might be just a joke to you, but just go away. I don't like your joke. It's not funny. Your joke's pathetic. So it's important. It's not actually a funny joke. A joke is a joke if it's funny. Your jokes are not funny. So bog off. Get off my channel. Get out of my room. Get out of my pub, as they say. So we don't want you. And we love the rest of you. Of course we do. So it's absolutely fabulous to have the rest of you here. So it's wonderful, as they say, 99.999 are pleasant, says Expialidocious. Precisely. And you are. Everybody else is lovely. But these other people, well, get out of the room. There's no point trying to be nice to these people because they're just nasty. There's no need for nastiness. Right. Okay. You like Bernard Matthews. Okay. Well, there we are. Okay. If you like Bernard Matthews, that's fair enough. Have I ever eaten skate? Yes, I've had skate. Lovely. Absolutely delightful. Lovely stuff. Is David Jason a wrong'un? Well, many people seem to claim he is, but I don't believe so, no. I think David Jason is a perfectly decent gentleman, and I think people are getting rather carried away with the story of him being a bad person. I don't necessarily. I think that people are just being nasty about him. I don't know. I just have a feeling that they may have got a bit carried away on the topic of him. So I'm saying he's okay for now. I could be wrong. Right. Okay. Block the trolls. Yes. Well, I get rid of the trolls as much as I can. Right. Okay. You loved Only Fools and Horses. Yes. Well, so did I. I thought it was a great program. Lovely. Not quite in the league of, Hyacinth Bucket, but not a bad program. Okay, you like Dad's Army. Okay. You like Faulty Towers. Okay, well, we all have different things that we like. So I preferred Hyacinth Buckets, let's be honest. Right, okay. Have I ever done any fly fishing? Yes, of course I've been fly fishing many times. My father had a fishing hotel for a little while, so we've been very involved in fishing for all our lives. So primarily fly fishing, of course. Yes. So yeah, I've been very involved in fly fishing. You liked All Creatures Great and Small. Well, that was a lovely thing. Some mothers do have them. Yes. Well, that's a nice program, but I didn't really buy into. I liked certain different things. Do I put the fish back? Well, sometimes, but sometimes, of course, one takes them home and has dinner. Nothing wrong with cooking the fish that you catch, in my view. I know that you all think that that's nasty and evil and you're, just bad. And well, anyway, but sometimes one has to eat something, and a bit of fish is not a bad thing to eat. So I do enjoy eating a bit of fish that I've caught. So yeah, I will enjoy the fish that I've caught. So I'm obviously a very nasty, evil person, and I do know that I'm a murdering monster and a killer and all the rest of it. Anyway, you can hear it in the background. The birds are going mad. Oh my god. Oh, these seagulls, when they go mad, they go completely mad here. So, right, you've got a whole bit of screaming seagulls. Oh my god. They, they, they go completely bonkers, this plot. Did I ever meet Lindsay DePaul? No, I don't think I've ever met Lindsay DePaul. I don't know who Lindsay DePaul even is. So, nope, never met her. Do I own a beret? No, I don't own a beret. Right. Right. Did I meet Captain Birdseye? No, I've never met Captain Birdseye. I believe Captain Birdseye is a creation of an advertising agency, and I haven't met Captain Birdseye, no. Will the Dirt on Starmer ever come out? Well, we'll see, probably. There could be a bit of trouble on him. David Croft was my ex's grandfather, says Matt Grant. I don't know who David Croft was. I'm terribly sorry, I don't know. Right. Right. Alfie's mum feels very sorry for the lobsters. Well, lobsters do tend to get cooked if they're caught. So there we go. I don't know really what else I can say. Okay. Right. Well, we're on to 1 hour and 23 minutes. So I think it will be soon time for me to go to bed. So let me do a little bit of a quiz. You can have your quiz if you want a quiz. Are you ready for a quiz? And right, we'll try and do a quiz, and then I'll go to sleep. I think that's probably what we need to do. So, is there anyone who can keep the tally for the quiz? That would be helpful, because I don't know where my pen is. That's useful. Do we have a person capable? Here we are. I can do it this way, but it would be nice if I could have someone to help me with the quiz. Right. Okay. Right. Are you ready for a quiz? Are you ready? Oh, well. Right. Are we ready for a quiz? Okay, question number 1. What is the lifeline on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire involving the contestant phoning someone they know? What is the lifeline? The first person to get it correct is Linz. Well done, Linz. It's phone a friend. 1 point to Linz. Okay, so well done, Linz. Question number 2. With which sport is Ryan Christie associated? Ryan Christie. As of 2025. Joyce Grove gets an point. It is football. Joyce Grove. 1 point to you. It is football. He plays for Bournemouth. He's midfield. He's 30 years old. He's a Scotland international. Okay, when did Adolf Hitler order the infamous Night of the Long Knives? It wasn't 1945, no. It wasn't 1939. It wasn't 1932. It wasn't 1940. Right. It wasn't 1936. No. 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 Miss Marple gets the point. Well done, Miss Marple. It was 1934. It was late June and early July 1934. Series of political executions as those who were of threat. Okay. In which year did Queen Elizabeth II open the Sydney Opera House? Which year did she open the Sydney Opera House? It was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2007, but that was not the year she opened it, obviously. No. Audrey gets the point. It is 1973, so well done to Audrey. A point to Audrey. So we've got 3 of you with a point. Okay. How long did the evil, disgraced singer Gary Glitter receive in prison in Ria, Vietnam in 2006 for abusing 10 and 11-year-old girls? How many years did he get in prison? It wasn't 25, it wasn't 13, it wasn't 1. It wasn't 5, it wasn't 6, it wasn't 1. It wasn't... Flabby gets the point, 2.5. Well done to Flabby. He abused all these poor children and he got 2.5 years in prison. Isn't that disgraceful? And then obviously, the sentence expires in 2031, but he was allowed to leave and then he came back to England and, well, he faced other charges. Nasty monster. Okay, which Irishman who died aged 76 in 2025 was involved in Formula One, He circumnavigated the world in 2015, was a Top Gear presenter in 2016, and was an extremely successful businessman. What was his name? Woodsocks gets it. Woodsocks. So Woodsocks is a new entrant. It was, of course, Eddie Jordan. Eddie Jordan, a lovely man. I enjoyed his company on a number of occasions. What was the name of the deranged shooter who massacred 16 innocent children, a school teacher, and then turned his gun on himself on the 13th of March 1996 at a school in Dunblane, Scotland? What was his name? It wasn't Michael Ryan. It wasn't a nutter. Of course, he was a nutter. Ross gets the point. It was Thomas Hamilton. So Ross is a new entrant. Ross, 1 point to you. Obviously, this nasty man, Thomas Hamilton, was 43 years old. He was a sex offender. He was a scout leader. He had 4 legally held handguns. Handguns were then banned in the British, He fired 106 shots. Many others were injured. It was the deadliest massacre shooting in British history. What a terrible thing. How appalling that was allowed to be happen. It was so wrong, so disgusting. You say he was a friend of Savile. I don't know if that's true or not. Okay. Right. Which disgraced Glaswegian businesswoman and Tory peer once falsely claimed her then home in Glasgow was owned by Albert Einstein to Hello magazine? Audrey gets a second point, so Audrey is now in the lead. Well done, Audrey. Audrey, you've got 2 points. You're ahead of everybody else. Of course, it was Michelle Mone, Baroness Bra, the £232 million PPE scandal fraudster. She had a racist case 2021. She was found guilty of that as well. She's a nasty piece of work, this old Baroness Bra. Okay. Which East End, London-born actor, writer, and producer told Emily Maitlis that he found it flattering to play evil characters on the Andrew Marr Show in 2010? It wasn't Phil, no. It wasn't Andrew. It was an actor. It wasn't Anthony Hopkins. It wasn't Danny Dyer. It wasn't Vincent. It wasn't Vinnie Jones. It wasn't Nick Cotton. It wasn't Ray Winston, no. The Seagulls are getting all worked up about this question. They seem to love it. It wasn't Guy Ritchie, no. Oh dear, you're not doing very well at this. It wasn't Michael Caine. It wasn't Alan Rickman. It wasn't Grant. No. Okay, well, I will award 0 points. It was Stephen Burkoff, obviously. It was Stephen Burkoff, so there we go. Right, you failed on another question, but it was a good question, I thought. Okay. How much did W.H. Smith's UK high street chain of 480 stores sell to the hobbycraft owner Madonna Capital in March 2025? It was not 4 million, no. It wasn't £1, and it wasn't 3 billion. It wasn't 22 million. No. 50 million is vaguely close. Audrey is actually very close. I will accept Audrey's answer. So Audrey gets a 3rd point. So Audrey is now firmly in lead. She says 70 million. But she got there before SS Racing, who say 75. It was 76 million. The name will be rebranded to TG Jones. 5,000 staff will be moved over. So there we are. SS Racing was very close, but I'd already given the point away. Right. Okay. What do Americans refer to baking trays as? What if you're in America? What is a baking tray? It's not a broiler. It's not a rack. No. Trevor gets it. Well done, Trev. Trev gets it with, of course, a cookie sheet. That's what they call it. With which sport is Tomos, spelled Tomos, Williams associated? With which sport is Tomos Williams associated? Leslie S gets the point. Well done, Leslie. So we're going to add Leslie to the list. It is obviously rugby union. He was Wales Gloucester. He's a scrum half. He's got caps for Lions 0, Test 64. Will Greenwood says of him, in a good team, he is a great player. So there we go. We know what he is. So there we go. If you were to say you were off to steer Stanley to the stainless steel, what would you be doing? If you were going to steer Stanley to the stainless steel, what would you'd be going to the loo, says Miss Marple. So Miss Marple gets the second point. Well done. You'd be going to the bog. There we go. You know, you could also say siphon the python, drain the dragon, or drain the radiator. So if you were going to the loo, you could say you're off to steer Stanley to the stainless steel. There we go. Okay, with which sport is Abby pulling associated? Abby pulling. Which sport is Abby pulling associated with? It's not horse racing. It's not darts. It's not swimming. It's not hockey. It's not tug of war.
Wolford.
It's not Wolford. No, Abby pulling. She's nothing to do with croquet or dogging or the long jump or the judo. She's nothing to do with tennis or the football or gymnastics. The javelin, no, right. You're absolutely useless. Right, so that's another question you got wrong. Of course, Abby Pulling is associated with Formula One. She is a rare thing in Formula One. She's a female Formula One driver. So you've all failed. You are the weakest link. You are, I will say, terribly sorry. Goodbye on that one. So it's absolutely shocking. Couldn't answer that. In which year did Christoph Waltz star in the sci-fi adventure Alita Battle Angel? Which year did he star in that? It's not 1938. Christoph Waltz is still alive, so you're miles up. No. Every one of you is wrong. You are totally useless. Yes, we are useless. You say in capital letters. You are right. No. Right. Okay. One of you just said 2019. The one that said 2019 was. Oh, I'm struggling here. I did see a 2019. Oops. I did see it. It's very hard because, you know, you struggle along when you're doing this kind of program. Oh, God. It's very difficult when you don't have your own computer. Well, I did see somebody say 2019. So somebody got it. Oh God. It's very hard for me here. I'm very sorry. I'm trying to find the one that actually got the answer. It's very hard because I can't scroll very easily. No. I'm very sorry. I can't find it. It's impossible. I'm very, very sorry. This is impossible because the screen is behaving very bizarrely. I'm the one that's totally useless because no, I'm very sorry. It just doesn't work. Right. On this occasion, I have Dixie said 2019, so we'll give it to Dixie. Okay, right. That is the correct answer. So Dixie gets a point. It doesn't change the actual dynamics. So anyway, next question is right. Okay, Dixie has won the point. Okay, thank you to Dixie. I'm very sorry. I just can't find anything. It's very hard to do this, and I meant to have an adjudicator who helps me, but nobody seems to want to do that anymore. So me doing all of this as well, it's absolutely impossible, isn't it? Because I'm absolutely bloody useless. So I'm as much use as a chocolate bloody teapot. So right, next question. Right. In which no, we've done that one. How many days apart did Sir Brian and Lady Urquhart die in 2021? How many days apart? It's not 10, it's not 9. Miss Marple is correct. So Miss Marple is now in joint first place. They died 1 day apart. So Sir Brian Urquhart died on day 1, and then obviously his wife died a day later because they were so distraught at their mutual passing. She died. He, of course, was involved in creating the UN. She died on the 2nd. He died on the 2nd of January, and she died on the 3rd of January in 2021. Okay. Which brand was rock chick Patsy Kensit the face of in its adverts as a child? What did Patsy Kensit advertise as a child? Miss Marple gets the point, so Miss Marple is now totally in the lead with 4 points. Of course, it was peas. It was Bird's Eye frozen peas. She hates Bird's Eye frozen peas. She spat them out, and after that, she claims she loathes them. So there you go. She doesn't like frozen peas. I love frozen peas. A bit of frozen peas with a bit of fish finger. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. What does the word concupsible, coined in 1400s, mean? What does concupsible mean? No, it doesn't mean spit don't swallow. Doesn't mean round. Concupsible. CONCUPSIBLE. What does that mean? No. 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 It's nothing to do with enigma or round or gobble or poo. It doesn't mean confused. No. It doesn't mean anything to do with adultery. No. Okay, well, none of you get it, so 0 points awarded. It means worthy of being desired, concupiscible. It's a word from the 1400s, so there we go. Right, okay, so at the moment we've got Miss Marple in the lead. So Miss Marple is the leading lady. We've got our penultimate question, so this could change anything. On the 8th of May 2025, anniversary of V-Day, which anniversary of on the 8th of May 2025, which anniversary of V-Day was marked? Which year? So Enigma gets it. Enigma. So you've got a point, Enigma. It was the 80th, precisely. Okay, and then the final question. So this changes it all. If Audrey answers correctly, we could change things. Miss Marple is currently the winner. What did Churchill allegedly say of the people of the Channel Islands as he abandoned them? What did he say as he threw them to the wolves? When he betrayed the people of the Channel Islands, when they were invaded by the Germans. It wasn't piss off, no, but it was similar. It wasn't bog off. It wasn't goodbye. It wasn't tally ho. It wasn't get lost. No. It's much disputed. Obviously, Jersey, Guernsey, Alderney, Sark, 94,000 islanders. The German invasion in 1940, the collaborators, the resistance, lots of things went on. But no, allegedly he said, let 'em starve. So no, you didn't get that correct. So that's another question you failed to answer correctly. So the winner tonight is Miss Marple. Miss Marple, 3 points. Well done, Miss Marple. So Miss Marple is our winner. Wouldn't you agree? Miss Marple did very well.
Very well.
Out of all of the questions, but the Churchill question is a kind of disputed question, but it wasn't very nice what he said about those people, and he just let them.
He went to Christ College in Brecon. Did you know that?
I think we're talking about Guernsey here. Anyway,
but I want to say
anyway,
he did go to Christ College in Brecon, in
right.
Wales.
Right. Well, anyway, we've got opinions coming in here about a totally unrelated matter that's nothing to do with the story. So anyway, I'm going to go to bed myself soon because I'm very, very tired. And it is time for me to go to sleep. And thank you very much. And we thank you all for your lovely participation. So anyway, we've nearly done 2 hours and it's time to go to sleep. So
You did very well.
We're going to say thank you very much. And it was most...
Thank you, Min, very much.
She wants to be thanked also. So there we go. I don't know what she needs to be thanked for because she hasn't really participated. But
well, Isis here supporting you.
She sits here supporting it. Okay, right. Anyway, there we go. Well, we thank her for her participation of support. Okay, that's very nice, isn't it? I don't know quite what she adds.
You need support.
I don't need any support, but
Yes, you do.
it's very nice to have other people involved, and it's very kind of you all.
You do need
No,
support.
can you please be quiet whilst I
You've lost your bird.
Oh, we've lost the bird. Yes, we don't know where the bird's
And
gone.
you're miserable.
We're not miserable.
Vulnerable
We're
without
not.
that bird.
No, we're not No, we're not really. This is ridiculous. I don't need all the shouting in the background. Please be quiet. Stop interfering. It's my program. I'm in charge. Thank you. Okay. Goodbye. And let's carry on. So anyway, I want to say thank you very much for your participation. You've been absolutely wonderful. We're going to go away now. We're going to have a quiet night, and we're going to say thank you very much to you all. You've been absolutely wonderful. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Have a glorious evening, and pip pip, and take care. Absolutely fabulous to have you all with us, and we will say bye bye. Good night. Pip pip.